Yo, what's up, y'all? Listen, how y'all doing, man? It's like it's 2 a.m. right now for me. I can't, I can't sleep, bro. Like I told y'all in the last video, man, like my thoughts should just be running. But also, in the last video, somebody left a comment saying that they couldn't hear me properly because my audio, something like that. I'm recording from my laptop, so hopefully this fixes it. As you can see, like the audio volume thing is going up right here, but if this is not fixed, please bear with me. I'm trying to find out what's a good microphone. I just don't want to buy any microphone and it be trash. So I'm trying to do just a little bit more research than just reading the 5 star and the 1 star reviews. Like that's really not shit. So just bear with me for a bit and I'm gonna try to fix it the best I can. And let me actually raise this up even more so hopefully you could catch me even more. But this I wanted to react to this video about all the people that in my comment section about my Fresh and Fit videos talking about I'm a goofy, there's no proof, this and that, this and that. I think that this person made a video about it. I'm gonna watch it as we react together, but let's get into the video. It's called the full timeline of the rise and fall of Fresh and Fit podcast 7 hours ago. So let's get it.
One point in time.
And I'm sure there's gonna be things in here that I don't know about either. So let's see. Maybe I could see from your perspective as to why you guys defend Fresh and Fit so. Let's see.
Fresh and Fit was one of the top super chatted channels YouTube has ever seen, making the top 10 list at their peak. Now, well, they're a shell of their former selves. Hard to believe, but they were once the top men's focused podcast in the entire world. Now, not only has their money dried up, their influence, public respect, and self-respect along with it. But why? What caused this? Well, it's not any one thing. The laundry list of actions taken that could have been avoided, and even if not avoided fully, remedied quickly that the Fresh and Fit team opted not to do. From their humble beginnings on smaller platforms, their sudden rise and brief reign as the kings of men's podcasts, all the way to their disgraceful yet predictable downfall. This is the full timeline of the rise and fall of the Fresh and Fit podcast. The Fresh and Fit podcast originally wasn't even called Fresh and Fit. Hell, originally it wasn't even two people. At first, it was just one person. That person being Myron, aka Amru Fuddle, the more well-known half of the duo, the one who does all the talking and really made Fresh and Fit what it is today. Originally, this podcast was called Weight and Dates, but the person who he hosted it with was not Fresh. It was another guy who we covered here on this channel, who I won't even touch on because I already have a video on this scumbag and I'm all Donovan sharped out. But yes, this is the person who gave Myron his first shine. In hindsight, knowing the character of the first person Myron publicly looked up to, it's not hard to see why and how FNF went down the path they went down. It started when he bought a consultation from Donovan Sharp.
So it started, man. I actually got a consultation with Donovan, and we are talking about, shooting stuff about fitness, game, everything like that.
Donovan eventually thought, hey, this guy is knowledgeable. Let me make a show with him called Weights and Dates.
Everything like that. I was like, hey, man, you're a pretty knowledgeable guy. Would you like to come on the show? And I was like, dude, it'd be an honor. And he had me on, and we talked about fitness. We did a show.
All right, let's get right to it. My special guest this evening is none other than the fittest man I know, my man, Mr. Myron Gaines, who I had the pleasure of meeting down in Orlando last weekend.
This went so well that Donovan not only encouraged Myron to make his own show and podcast,
and then I'll never forget, Donovan was like, hey, man, you need to make a YouTube channel.
He also invited him back to be on The Six, which was a panel show that featured a lot of guys in the red pill. Kevin Samuels, most notably.
Look at how he looks. Like this looks like a more wholesome, just the nervous, your everyday average guy, not the I'm better than you niggas type of guy. And the success really looked like it really did change him.
Another person by the
He just looked like
name of Solo TV 84, just to name a few. Keep that in your back pocket for later. They will be relevant. Anyway, Myron didn't find too much success in his own right at the time, even with the boost from Donovan Sharp. He was doing all right, but not quite your day job levels of all right. It might sound impossible, but yes, at one point, Donovan Sharp was actually relevant. Imagine that. Before Donovan got exposed, again, more info in this video, he was actually a kingmaker. Kevin Samuels, seen as the second coming to a lot of these misguided men. Donovan Sharp was the one who put him on before he was even known. Just pearly things as well, and of course, Fresh and Fit. Anyways, it was around this time that
okay.
Myron met Solo TV 84. This is the guy who introduced Myron to Fresh, aka Walter Weeks, and thus began the Fresh and Fit podcast. Solo TV coincidentally subscribes to my channel, and I've got lots of videos critiquing the Red Pill and Red Pill creators. So if he subbed as what I assume to be an ex-Red Pillar, you, the viewer, you know what to do. From this point on, Fresh and Fit was in its crawling stages. A lot of the videos and live streams were genuinely self-improvement focused. Things like the truth in fitness, is fasting superior, do looks matter, and general actionable advice that is actually helpful. Then when you take a look at the live streams, it's stuff like how to find success with women in Europe, social media versus real life for dating, and bedroom tips as well. A far far cry from what FNF has become, as those of you who are familiar with them no doubt know. It continued a lot like this for some time, having the guys that have put them on first or that they collab with first, like Minister Jap, Donovan Sharp, Kevin Samuels, and the rest of them on. But it didn't find anywhere close to the same success they eventually grew to regularly enjoy, found in their after hours. It wasn't until one day that they had some girls in the studio and they decided to go live with said girls and interview them.
Yo, guys, we have some lovely ladies in the studio tonight. They're all beautiful, but we want to say one thing. It's gonna be fun tonight. It's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Hell yeah.
So,
Okay. So first question, right?
There's
Yeah.
a blonde in one studio. What else are you trying to
Hey,
figure
man,
out?
it's lit.
First question, right? What do girls want in a guy?
Boom.
From this point on, FNF didn't know this yet, but they struck gold. You might look at the YouTube scene and see everyone and their mom interviewing women and asking them what their body count is,
Just gave
picking
him
out
a 9.
women.
You gave me a 2. You only gave me a 2 because of the whole interaction that we've been having, right? So do me a favor, get the fuck up and get the fuck out.
But Fresh and Fit were the
I seen that clip. That's a sensitive ass bitch ass nigga, bro. Like that ass.
pioneers of this whole thing. They were the ones who stumbled upon the formula and figured it out first. Many people have tried and failed miserably. For example, the fake and the pretender. More info on this cornball in these videos. And others have tried it too, and they've arguably made it even better, like the Whatever podcast. Note that I'm just looking at the numbers. I think the entire niche of asking women the same question is played out and boring, but the fact still stands that FNF were the ones who started this whole thing. From this point on, it was
Did they
business
really?
as usual. Growing
What
pretty
about
fast in the
Kevin
niche of the couple,
Samuels?
not making too many waves outside of that, and generally giving a peek into the dating world of Miami. At this point, their fan base, although still red pillars, was a lot more tame. The launching pad that finally shot Fresh and Fit into the mainstream was Kevin Samuels. His appearance on FNF through a
That's
phone
what.
call was the
That's what I'm
first time
saying.
they went viral for real. Kevin Samuels at the time was also going viral. While Fresh and Fit are known for the whole inviting women on the show and making fun of them thing now, Kevin Samuels started this aspect. And before I get to Kevin
Exactly.
Samuels,
So what are you
was in the
talking
chat
about?
saying he did it to both men and women. I know that is technically true, but I have never seen a viral Kevin Samuels clip of him doing it to a man. We all know why he's famous.
That's cap. There's one about him talking about the nigga. Like, do you got a big dick? I mean, I don't know. I mean, is big nigga? Do you got a big dick? Everybody know if they got a big dick. How nigga, do you got a big dick? So no, you don't got a big dick. You a 6 foot fat ass nigga, barely making minimum wage, and you think you deserve a supermodel with a little dick? Yo, R.I.P. Kevin, bro.
He wasn't known for holding men accountable. He is known for telling women they're average at best, that and the rest of that. Keep it a buck. That's what people tuned in for.
It's
Even the
cap.
Fresh and Fit collaborative that got them so many views, what was it for?
There's a hierarchy of needs. You are correct. We
Right.
all
We don't need you,
college.
and we don't need you. You need us.
Great. I don't need you either.
I know we need you. Know we don't need you for survival. You need us for survival.
Clearly wasn't for holding Fresh accountable or Myron accountable. Nope, it was for what he was known for. Sidebar here. I'll never understand the attraction to asking someone their standard and then telling them that they'll never get it. To me, it seems wholly boring. All this high value man talk from Fresh and Fit. By now, we've seen the biggest supporters at their yacht parties and their Twitter spaces, and well,
I don't agree with that. I feel like some women do live in the delusional worlds, and somebody they're surrounded by their echo chambers. Like if you're an out of weight girl, like let's just say I'm just gonna use pictures celebrities so we have a concrete image of the comparison analogy I'm trying to make. Let's say you look like Precious from Precious, the big black bitch. And if y'all don't know who Precious is, I guess for the younger kids who haven't seen Precious, no offense to Precious or none of that shit, but she's not very attractive. You feel me? She's not a very attractive actor. Um, I said Parrish. What the fuck? Her. Oh, I'm about to get cooked for this. I'm about to get cooked for this. I can't spell. Boom, right here. Precious. Her. If you look like her, right, and you think you could get a nigga that looks like fucking Chris Brown, spell Chris Brown wrong. A nigga that looks like Chris Brown or fucking LeBron James. Like if you think sure it's possible, it's not out of the realm of possibility. But why would a Chris Brown go for a Precious when he could have a Rihanna? You feel me? Or a Janai Kiko. You feel me? So it don't make sense. Why would LeBron go for Precious when he could have a fucking Savannah James? Like it's shit like that. But some females they really live in that delusion where they think they could get that shit while looking like Precious, and they're supplied by that echo chamber of other females telling them, "Yes, girl, do yes, girl, you can." Da 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 that some niggas need to put them in reality. Like, yo, your standards are out of I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Your standards are out of your reach. Like if I know my son ain't the brightest or my child ain't the brightest, and he wants to be a scientist or neurosurgeon, I'm gonna be like, yo, son, it's possible that you could do it, but you're gonna have a hard ass fucking time achieving that goal. This is the more easier and more sure shot and stable path that you want to go through. I'm gonna let that person know. Like if Precious wants to LeBron, you gonna have to you could still be Precious, but you just gonna have to lose a lot in weight, Precious, and you're gonna have to offer way more than Savannah while looking close to or if not better than a Savannah James. Like you feel me? It's just reality. I'm sorry. That I was out of my fault.
telling them that they'll never get it. To me, it seems wholly boring. All this high value man talk from Fresh and Fit. By now, we've seen the biggest supporters at their yacht parties and their Twitter spaces, and well,
No bitches, bro.
let's just say I'm not sure that even the worst Miami girl has one of these high value men on their radar. Anyways, this was a very key and pivotal point for Fresh and Fit for two reasons. One reason was lesser known and lesser talked about. Of course, it's key because Fresh and Fit now is co-opting the success of Kevin Samuels, and the video went viral. The stream itself is sitting at 650k views at the time of this writing, and the video clips that came from the situation were probably seen over 1 million times between Fresh and Fit and their other clip channel / reposters. But the other way this is a turning point for Fresh and Fit, unbeknownst to anyone involved, was due to the beef that would later come out between FNF and the very person apparently that they looked up to and helped them so much, Kevin Samuels. But before we get to that, there are some in-between things to be spoken about. FNF was starting to see a formula. Invite girls on, interview them, say some controversial things, cuss them out, dunk on them, and that equals views. Myron went viral on TikTok many times.
They banned you for telling the truth on TikTok.
Yeah, the video that got me banned was basically when I said, basically, this is what happened. I made a video and I said, hey guys, when a girl says, let's reschedule, I said, you need to punish her for that bad behavior. And when you meet her on the date, she needs to pay for the first drink. The feminists went crazy because I said punish and bad behavior. And I said, you can't reinforce good behavior with good treatment if she flakes. And they're like, oh my God, you're treating her like a dog. And it's like, what it's really come down to is this. Women don't want to be held accountable for flaking on men.
One of which was because he said punish bad behavior in relation to a girl canceling a date. In context, I'm not gonna lie, I do understand what he's saying. Basically, don't be a doormat, and when you do reschedule, I think playfully saying, oh, you gotta buy me a drink because you came late is actually not that bad. But he used the words punish because, like I said before, they want
Ain't nothing
controversy.
wrong with that.
Double-edged
I
sword
agree.
because Myron is fine with being the villain. It actually worked well for some time using the strategy. Their fan base was completely separate
My
from the
bad,
haters
y'all.
that
My
got
chest
angry
hurt.
at punish bad behavior thing. So they lost literally no traction. And in fact, they gained more. Quick crash course about cancellation is that it only works if the fans care. For example, Donald Trump correctly stated, I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? Because Donald Trump has the ultimate cancel deterrent, and that's a fan base that literally likes him on the basis of him being him. Nothing he does can change that.
My fault, random, but it's nights like this where I wish I was streaming. Like, have y'all join my stream shit. We could just watch this shit together and do our little reactions, our little dialogue over the chat. But I want to wait until the channel grows a little bit bigger. My goal right now is 500 subscribers, so at least we could hit the part where we could start fucking streaming and y'all could start participating in the streams and shit like that. So yeah.
Including but not limited to bloody murder. The other not as reliable but still workable way of deterring a loss of fan support, aka cancellation, is having the controversy be separate from what you're liked for, which is what happened in the case of FNF. Like I said, the fans like this, so it naturally escalated to kicking girls out of the studio for their bad behavior. It was so well received that it became a staple in their videos. All the FNF fans were waiting with bated breath for one of these girls to do something, or in some cases do nothing and get kicked off the show.
All right, later, bye. We've debunked rape culture. Rape culture is a myth. It's not as common as people say it is.
Yo, she
Like,
might.
you want to go cry outside.
Yeah.
Like, bro, this is an adult conversation. If you can't divorce your emotions from reality, that's two different things. Does anyone else want to join her?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
All right,
us
cool.
too.
Leave.
Yeah, leave. Yep. Who else? Go ahead.
Who else?
Boom. Yep.
Yeah, by myself.
Yep.
Get up and leave.
Yep. Get up and leave.
Now you know where the punishing bad behavior comes from and where the term Frank Castle in relation to the Fresh and Fit podcast comes from, if it wasn't already obvious. So from here, it again continued to grow as a podcast. At this point in time, the guests invited weren't horrible. Of course, we had some scammers and charlatans, namely the fake and the pretender, who will teach you how to run a business and be a man for the low price of $1,000 when his only successful business
Crazy
is
work.
his YouTube or is YouTube related, like his merch or his cult. And he bullies 18-year-old girls for having the audacity to not want to be associated with him. More info in this video. And Donovan Sharp, who is literally clearly a career criminal who has scammed everyone from his fans to his literal dad. But there was also some decent value being added. They had divorce lawyers on, credit score tips. They also had some entertainment. Michael Blackson, DJ Academics, Traplo Ross, and other pretty notable names outside of the red pill niche. Basically, at this point, they weren't known just for women coming on. They were known for mainly that, but people actually trusted their platform to at least have some decent people. The air around these guys was basically, okay, they're jerks to women, but they're not necessarily bad people. Myron's
I'm gonna be honest with you, I have watched not a nut out of all the shit I've seen of Fresh to Fist. Now, one of them have been anything about their fucking Money Mondays, the Traplo Ross interviews or shit like that. It's legit been shit that's involving females and popular females. Truthfully, that's it.
a hothead who's been hurt by women and hasn't gotten over it. Fresh, he's just along for the ride and has no beliefs about any of this. The rest of the crew is more or less irrelevant. They're controversial, but not necessarily bad, right? That was until about this moment.
Because you got triggered, baby. What's going on in here?
Don't do it, bro. What's up? Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Who is this guy? Why is he breaking into the studio?
Anybody doing some shit like this is corny. You came, you brought a nigga to record this shit. I don't. That's fake. That's clout shit to me. Pull up by yourself, nigga. Don't record that shit. Let them record it and have them post it. Cause you like yo, like you came to record you doing a crime. Like what are you
Well, to answer those questions, you gotta take a
depressing,
slight
fresh and fit, bro? That's I know the situation that happened because of that shit, but that's just corny to me. Like what did you expect? Them niggas is pussies.
step back. This is ABBA and Preach. Both will be relevant, but especially ABBA as things progress. The 19th law of power. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. If ever there was one mistake that led to the downfall of Fresh and Fit, it would be this. Before ABBA and Preach was invited onto their podcast, Myron said this on
Oh shit, Abba tatted up. Oh, I would have never
a
guessed Abba
separate
tatted
podcast
up, bro.
on this
He
shit.
got
Now,
the whole
I'm really happy that I
chest.
went last because everyone on this panel made phenomenal points, and I'm gonna take a bit from everybody, and I was like kind of like taking notes in my head as everyone was speaking. This is what I think. He went and he read The Rational Male. He probably went through some RP rage in 2013, couldn't get girls, whatever it may be, right? Struggled, right? Then his YouTube channel started to blow up, and this is one thing I've learned about a lot of guys that consume the RP.
Yo, he
They start
talks
getting
like
to
a
the point
black
that they start
ghetto
to get
bitch
women. Once they start to get
that he
women,
talk.
they get rid of it. Hey, I don't need this crap no more. I'm not no misogynist. Bam, right? And they think that they don't need it anymore. And then that goes back to exactly what Lucario was saying. They ain't in it like we are. You know what I'm saying? They took what they needed, got the clout, got the girls. Now, you know what? I can start to observe some of these blue pill ideals that I used to have. Some of the, what they call purple pill, right? As some guys call purple pill. So he didn't consume the content enough and learn it to get out of the RP rage. So he was in RP rage, starts getting girls. Okay, you know what? I got the clout now. Whatever. I'm kind of aware of female nature, but I don't need to consume any more of this content. I'm good. And then he gets out. And then this is why you end up with this wavery type
That's a big
situation
ass
where,
assumption. What are you
women
basing this
toxic, blah,
assumption
blah,
off?
blah. Anybody that has common sense understands that the RP and everything else like that, alpha, beta, all these, they're placeholder terms to explain things. It doesn't necessarily mean
ABBA caught wind of this and went onto their podcast with this in mind. Myron, for as much as he likes to be seen as alpha who puts women in their place, seems to be a lot more demure and docile in the presence of men. ABBA's not even a domineering guy. He just looks like your average dude. And when confronted on this, here's how he reacted.
Specifically, you felt like we were kind of blue pilled, right?
I don't remember what show was this one?
I remember very, very well because that episode I was very careful of what I said because you watched it. That episode I was very careful of what I said because
Yeah, man, like nigga,
So I just want to ask you about that. Why do you think
that ass,
I might be blue
bro.
pilled?
I'm trying to dodge this
Well,
shit.
from what I remember, I'm trying to remember. I would
My, we try to play some shit off, bro. Like you like let's say you talking to your parent, right? Like you broke some shit, like you broke some shit. Your little brother right there, he was there too. He a little mama's boy, he a little snitch. You broke some shit. Your mom asking you, did you break that? You like, nah, it fell. And she asked the little bro, wait, yeah, mom, I saw you break it. You just like, nigga, you dead ass, bro. That's the face he got. Like he in trouble. Like, bro, just blew my whole spot. What up?
Why do you think I might be blue pilled?
Well, from what I remember, I'm trying to remember. I would say blue like I'm trying to
Ooh,
think
nigga,
which
shook.
fight was
it was the one.
I'm trying to remember.
I said, I quoted it right to his face. Even the goofy fresh boy, he was like, "Oh, Abba came with the smoke."
I also find it funny that he came with the smoke.
Two things to note: Walter instantly remembers it for one, and for two, Abba didn't come at him like, "Hey man, say man, who's talking shit? What the word is now about that?" He actually said it
I've
pretty
been black.
nicely and
Yeah,
softly.
real
Blue
talk,
pill.
nigga.
Why
Was
do you
good,
think I
nigga.
might be blue pilled? Notice how he's stuttering and avoiding eye contact to end the situation. Also note that Walter, like the dunderhead he is, starts telling Myron, "Oh, I remember it. It was this day," completely missing the obvious fact that Myron is trying to run from it when he could have just said, "Yeah, I thought you were before, but I was clearly wrong. You seem chill. My bad. I had only one video to go off of. I take that back." Instead, he just obfuscates and plays dumb. Another thing worth pointing out is that during this live stream,
I
Rex was
agree.
laughing at what
I agree. I asked it like in a very calm, respectful. It wasn't no, oh, he came with the smoke type. Like, no, nigga, you said this shit about me. What made you accuse this about me? Saying like that's a very prove it up.
Walter was saying. Now, the real issue arises when we look at what happened after. I've been preached one other channel and called them out. They both said some things that they didn't exactly say beforehand, nor did they let FNF know there'll be a generally negative video made about them. On this front, I somewhat sympathize. Probably be annoyed if I invited someone to my place and they decided to turn around and say things they could have just said to me on air. But at the same time, Myron did do some weirdo stuff too, avoiding taking accountability for his own words. So I guess it is fair game.
Number two, she ain't gonna respect you.
People go on your show and disrespect you for free, and you kick them out. Isn't that true?
That's true.
So it's like the whole idea you
For
go
the
and
bet,
these ladies
don't
say,
cut
yeah,
that
They
shoot.
both made some decent points. FNF said at the time it's better that someone actually likes you and it's degrading to pay for it, and you're not getting the best, which I do kind of agree with. But also,
That's a
blatant
fact.
disrespect and freaking Fresh of all people said every girl still loves him that he's ever been with, and he gets their soul. Yeah, not buying it. There's about 30 minutes worth of evidence against that being the case right here.
and you talk about the respect. Let me ask you something. All the girls you smashed.
Yeah.
If I talk to every one of them, you think they all respect you or are going to say good things about you?
Yes.
All of them?
All of them.
That's
You know,
delusion.
okay. You know what's the best part? The live stream chat during that period, they were going crazy.
I know.
Yeah, they were just going, "Cap, that's a lie."
At the end of the day, to each their own, but I'd rather become a eunuch than pay for play, but that's just me. But that's all besides the point. In response to this, Myron crashed out to the fullest extent.
I wasn't gonna do this.
Wait, the hand symbol?
Yo, I was not gonna fucking do this.
The international.
My man Abba looks like he got off a camel, hasn't cut his hair, and yeah.
A weak man, a man who can't attack, who can't combat you intellectually is gonna try to combat you in any other way they can. He can't come for your brain. He can't come for your brains or your mind. So he gonna try to come for your looks, your culture, your family, your money, your status, anything and everything else to avoid that intellectual battle because they know they're less of a man than you.
Years. Dusty as he got a better channel than y'all, more views than y'all. The only thing you guys got on us is you guys been on longer. But I guarantee you, next year, this time, we're gonna lap you. Because you know what? Nobody works harder than us. Nope.
Where y'all at right now, Fresh and Fit fans? Demonetized, right? And on Twitter too. Y'all got demonetized on X. On fucking X, bro. On something called X, you niggas got demonetized. How? I could find bestiality porn on X, bro. I could type um um I forgot I could find any fucking trending porn star's butthole on X for free. And y'all niggas get demonetized. That's saying something.
We
X.
are better than you. Period.
Just horrible, terrible, atrocious form. You're going at one of the most beloved creator duos who've been on this platform for years. Even though I think both parties somewhat have decent
Damn.
reasons
I
to
didn't know they
question
was on
each
here
other,
for that
one party
long.
just went about it all bad. This kicked off one of the most entertaining and long-standing
Now that's some fucking longevity. Respect to that.
feuds on YouTube that I've ever seen. From this point on, Abba and Preach, but more so Abba, made it his life's mission
I'm trying to see what his tattoos are. This look like some shit from an anime. I just can't. It's just not coming to my head.
to destroy Fresh and Fit. But all he really did was bait them and then upload a video on what they did. I say Abba and Preach destroyed Fresh and Fit, but at the end of the day, they chose to behave this way and picked the wrong dialogue option every time. Things only got worse when Walter and Myron challenged Preach to a boxing match and insulted his supposed wife. The woman just ended up being a friend of Preach's, so she caught a crazy stray for no reason. But due to this, Preach, who took more of a backseat in this beef, was now at the forefront.
So real talk, man. We put out an invite. If y'all want to talk, come back in the studio. We'll talk about it, or we could box about it too. Cause I'm in the gym now. You feel me? I'm feeling nice right now. I'm wired right now.
Fresh wants to box or preach, bro.
Fresh wants to box up, bro. So you know what? Come back to Miami. Let's box it out. Talk it out too. How about that?
In 3 months,
waiting.
But like real talk, man. Like if we're gonna have this discussion, we're harder than you, straight up, and we work harder than you guys. We put out all different types of content. Yep. We're just out here reacting. This preacher's married, probably to a fucking beluga whale somewhere, and y'all talking shit.
Myron had a completely different energy from before. Preach responded in kind, wanted all the action and then some.
And later on in the video, you're saying that you want to box with me. Sort of happened that I'm gonna be in the U.S. next week. You want to do this shit?
How, like, what? Wait, what? Oh, you, what? Oh, shit.
Let's go, both of you. I'll be in U.S. next week.
Hold up.
But now you want to do this?
You want to set up the box match?
Let's go!
Okay, we can set it up.
Both of you, let's go.
Hey, man.
You want to do this? Let's go. Let's go.
Safe to say he wasn't ducking any smoke, especially not from someone who can't even look a woman in the eye, and even less so from Fresh.
On some level as well.
After this response from Preach, everyone pretty much was on Abba and Preach's side.
Wait a minute, standing up and can't toe down, big stepper.
Not thinking with a level head when he did all that. This is also seen the loss of subs at the time, a whopping 50k sub loss after this. All this jumping around yelling, we're better than you guys, literally halted their upward trajectory. It was kind of poetic if you think about it. It was because of this loss of subs that Myron eventually copped a plea and posted on their community tab an apology to their fans and a wish of luck to Abba and Preach.
Best of luck to Abba and Preach in their future endeavors. See you guys tonight for a Fresh and Fit After Hours. What do you think about their apology?
They apologized to their supporters. He didn't apologize to me or my wife or my country.
Although they did cop a plea, they didn't really apologize to Abba and Preach. More so, they apologized to their fans. And even still, they got cooked for their response, so they had to respond once again on live with an actual apology. But at this point, the damage was already done. It became obvious he didn't mean it, and he was only doing it because they're hemorrhaging subscribers by the thousands.
And by, mind you, right? All of this is happening, and they're saying how they don't pay for sex, and they want that shit. All of this is happening. We don't know shit about the secret arrangement stuff, the sugar baby shit. We don't know none of that shit yet. Right? Just keep that in mind. For you fuck niggas that's really defending these clown ass niggas.
Because of this drama, everyone who had an issue with Fresh and Fit came out of the woodworks. It's like the whole time there was an animosity for them in the YouTube space, but they had such a vitriolic and mobile fan base that no one dared call them out, lest they have an army of men attacking them. It was only once Abba and Preach revealed the chinks in
And them
their
niggas
armor
is
that
pussies.
everyone realized, okay, wait, these guys are not beyond reproach. From there, it was an avalanche. You had women coming out with proof of Myron telling them the only way they can get on the podcast is if they sleep with him.
And he said, no problem, I collab directly with girls I date, no pressure though. And I was like, so if we aren't dating, you don't want to collab? Because he's never even asked me on a date at this point.
This is the leader of what? Like a million men? So a million or so men who ostensibly have never had a real interaction with women, or at least very limited interactions. They're following the actions and words of this poor man's Harvey Weinstein. This is game. It didn't stop there. There was another.
Is this your king? This is the niggas y'all choose to follow.
Another girl who also accused Myron of getting her pregnant. Although that one didn't have much proof to back it up, I don't even believe it myself. It still came out. Myron still had to address it. But wait, there's more. At this time, it wasn't just people who knew them personally or had bad experiences with them. Arguably, more damaging were the channels that came from this whole thing who are completely removed.
Shay Duke Jackson.
O'Shea Duke Jackson, Spencer Cornelia, Playback, and many more were channels with decent to good followings before Fresh and Fit, but all this controversy made them pop to another level. And they're all more or less going strong to this day. There was a whole industry at this point surrounding calling out the
Except for Playback, bro. I don't know what happened to Playback.
Were born out of this whole thing. Coach Whitepill, Kevin Ray Wilder, John Anthony Lifestyle, all really were made from this, or got their channels revived from it at least. Well, at least it lasted for a short period of time. Even my guy Duke the Don, no relation, had his channel really explode off critiquing Fresh and Fit. Point is, they had lots of people coming after them, and also lots of people distancing themselves from them. People that used to rock with them and co-sign them, now they're starting to see the millions of subscribers attacking them, and the thousands of subs jumping shit, and they thought, I want no parts in this. One of those people was Kevin Samuels. First off, rest in peace. Anyone dying at such a young age is always a tragedy, but we gotta talk about that, especially those of you who to be a high
Facts.
value man isn't the whole thing about being masculine and compartmentalizing emotion from fact. Keep that in mind as you go through this part. Before Kevin Samuels passing and during this whole F&F is over party, Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit had a beef behind closed doors. Kevin Samuels, being as calculated and smart as he is, never publicly addressed it. But after his passing, everyone involved did. There's multiple sides to the story, so I'll list each one. Give my take on it, and you guys can choose what you think makes the most sense. The people like O'Shea claim that Kevin Samuels called him and said he should stop supporting F&F because they're a brand risk and bad people.
And I'm going to tell you how I know that. When the Fresh and Fit and Abba and Preach beef broke out, I was taking Fresh and Fit side until I got a call one day. Kevin called me and said, "Hey man, take all those videos down against Abba and Preach, man." I'm like, what's going on? He was like, "Man, listen, I'm gonna tell you certain things right now that you need to know, and Fresh and Fit was wrong." So we had a conversation. I was living in Poland at the time, about 2 hours. All the little dirty things that y'all was doing, I'm gonna get into it in this video.
It seems to have started because Kevin Samuels asked them to change their time slot because they're competing. Kevin felt owed that because he helped him get a big buzz originally.
We typically never stream at the same times, especially if we know each other, right? So if I know you and I got a show at 10, it's disrespectful if I'm your boy to start a show at the same time that you got, because that's my time slot. It's what we do. So I'm not gonna help you build your audience so you can stream at the same time as me, which is what Kevin did, all right? So Kevin was like,
Okay, hold on. I thought the issue was because it was the same studio. Like they booked the same at the same time slot. Then if that's the case, yeah, that's fucked up. But let's say it was two different studios though. Even though I'm streaming at 10 p.m. and my boy wants to stream at 10 p.m. at two different studios, is that still an issue? I don't see the issue in that. Maybe you could look at it this way, like they shouldn't stream it because, like, when Kai Cenat streams, everybody leaves other people's streams to go watch Kai shit. Maybe you could think of it like that. You could be respectful on that, but then isn't that kind of hindering your own shit? Maybe that's a better time. I don't know. I don't know.
"Look, I got my show at this
It's
time. Of course,
complicated.
you
I
got to
don't know the
respect the fact that
politics
I
of
have
it.
my show at this time. Look, I've been doing this show since 2020 at this time, and I'm the one that brought you guys the audience, and I didn't even charge you guys." And then they did some collaborations. They was using Kevin because they wanted to pay Kevin and all that.
Kevin apparently also wanted payment as well, which I personally do think is kind of crazy.
Okay, if Kevin streaming there for like the past 20 fucking plus years type shit, then never mind. Yeah, that shouldn't even have been a conversation. That should have been Kevin's. I just out of respect he's done for them. Another reason like y'all follow these goofy ass niggas.
Why charge for something that, while benefited F&F more, also benefited you? Up to this point, I think Kevin Samuels was wrong to ask for payment for a video because apparently, now take this with a grain of salt because Donovan is a genuine pathological liar. Kevin Samuels wanted half the revenue from the video or something like that, which is completely outlandish. But I do think he's cool to ask for the time slot. And since they're friends and he did help them, I think it would make sense for F&F to oblige if they can. But apparently, things really got bad when it was discovered that F&F was calling Kevin Samuels the F slur behind his back, saying he'd beat his and things like that.
So the reason why Kevin Samuels didn't like you is because you was going behind his back, calling him homosexual names as well as Abba and Preach.
Now, this is a story told according to Kevin Samuels' camp, but according to F&F, it's a different story. Fresh and Fit state a big reason for them insulting Kevin Samuels behind the scenes was because they were just competitive like that. And they wanted to surpass him, obviously, so that's how he riled his team up. I think there may be some truth to this, but if you're truly friends and there's no underlying animosity, the words you might use are, "We're gonna be bigger than Kevin Samuels one day," or "We gotta reach Kevin Samuels' heights." Probably not, "We're gonna be bigger than that fast Kevin Samuels."
So
There's a
basically,
difference.
long story
Night
short,
and
guys,
day.
what happened
Night
was there
and
was an
fucking
issue.
day.
I'm going to sum it up for your audience so that they don't like get bored or whatever. But there was an issue between us and Kevin Samuels and the time slot. He wanted a certain time slot. We abided by it. We said, "All right, cool, bro, no worries." And we were pushing our show back for the time slot. Then I quickly realized that it wasn't necessarily about the time slot. He just kind of didn't want to work with us anymore.
The difference at this point in his story is the motivation. Apparently, he thinks it was mainly motivated by Kevin Samuels wanting to not be associated with them or share a fan base, which I think we can all understand why.
We were bringing on, young girl bimbos in Miami in person and roasting them. So it was a completely different lane. It wasn't the same. And Kevin was targeting mostly the African American community. Maybe he felt like we're overlapping with him. That's fine. He's entitled to feel that way. But what ended up happening after that was, since we had this rift, right? He, when Abba and Preach started talking shit about us, he went ahead and did a collab with them right in the middle of the beef. Now, mind you, he had not done a collab with anybody that he had worked with prior to that. So he only did a collab with Abba and Preach because he saw it as, okay, this is a chance to go ahead and attack Fresh and Fit.
And then he reveals Kevin
It's an
Samuels collabed with
assumption.
Abba and Preach at a pretty unfortunate time for them, pointing towards it being a calculated attack, kicking them while they're down. To me, I bet the real story is somewhere in between. If I were a betting man, I'd bet that Kevin Samuels probably was annoyed at the things that were said behind closed doors, rightfully so. Probably was also annoyed and felt like his lane was being encroached on, and arguably rightfully so. And Kevin Samuels was probably looking at them and thinking, oh hell nah, I can't have my name attached to these guys. I gotta be in music videos with Future and interviews with Nicki Minaj in the mainstream. I can't be co-signed with these kind of allegations, but I also think there was probably an aspect of fear of them overtaking him and jealousy as well. When this accusation was levied against Abba and Preach, saying that they're jealous of Fresh and Fit's success and that's why they're attacking them, it didn't make sense because they're quite literally in two separate distinct lanes. And if anything, Abba and Preach could just make videos reacting to their drama. But FNF and Kevin Samuels had damn near a one-to-one audience at that point. They wanted to see women get roasted on live and both provided that. So because of that, I can see a personality type like Kevin Samuels also considering that when making his moves. But either way, Kevin Samuels cut ties with them at this point. And from here, everyone was against FNF. And it didn't seem like much could get worse.
FBI, open up!
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Allende. This is the man who really took it to another level. Allende, an ex-co-worker from Fresh and Fit, broke into the Fresh and Fit studio to confront Myron mid-podcast. This was must-see TV
Oh, that's an ex co-worker.
at the time. This really brought the Jerry Springer to YouTube at this point. This is probably Fresh and Fit's darkest hour, well, at least up to this point. Allende and his friend Large were upset for a myriad of reasons. Some smaller, some bigger, some valid, some not so valid. He had an issue with them not giving him credit for getting girls on the show, which I feel like is kind of reaching.
Me and Large met because I was bringing the girls on the podcast, and the entire time I'm working away to push this thing, to get these guys off the ground, to get these guys established, and get the engine fucking going.
I mean, it's called the Fresh and Fit show, not the casting coordinator and photographer show. They also had issues
Yeah, I
with Myron's
don't.
integrity and behavior. Apparently, Myron wanted to edge him out of the podcast and get someone else to source girls because Allende couldn't be controlled. Now, this one is very interesting, and I'll explain why. I originally wasn't too sure about this, because as someone who's employed and employs, there's times where someone's really good at their job, has things like reliability issues, attitude issues, and just general incompatibility with the vision or with the team. In these cases, I might look for someone else to work with them, or just give their job to someone else if it gets too much to deal with. So at first, I kind of sympathized with Myron and assumed maybe it was that. But Allende said something very, very illuminating.
Let me ask you guys a question. When you think about this for a minute, how many guys do you know that stutter? Just percentage-wise, out of 10 guys, how many of those guys would stutter? I could find 10 guys like this and not one of them would stutter. How the fuck is it that Myron finds himself around 3 guys that stutter? A team of 4 and 3 of them stutter. The point I'm making is that that's not a coincidence. Myron is an expert at preying on insecurity. He's an expert at finding people that are useful, that are skillful, but lack the confidence to get what they deserve, right? And what they're owed. And those are the people that he can exploit.
There's more later in this downfall video that supports Allende's point, but even with just this and what we know so far, I believe this is 100% true.
That's an interesting thought. Huh.
Think about it. His entire main team. Who's Chris? A man with a stutter, overweight, and a drinking problem. Very clearly with low self-esteem and a punching bag to not just Myron, but Fresh as well. Who's Mo? Overweight, no stutter, but very clearly lacking in confidence and is a punching bag to Myron as well. And finally, who's Fresh? A punching bag to Myron, has a stutter and not the brightest tool in the shed. All this to say, it seems like Myron's less interested in building a powerhouse podcast team and more interested in surrounding himself with the cast of people he can control. I mean, with how
Or, or how about this? Those are the kind of people he attract to because even though he's fit and all that shit, and he's not stuttering, a little bit smarter than them, just a little bit. They're all the same kind of fucking people. You know, you attract the kind of people that you are. Like Logan Paul, allegedly, no, I guess it's not alleged. Fuck that. Logan Paul rug pull shit, and his partner does rug pull shit too. You feel me? These niggas is fucking paying for sugar daddies and knocking up escorts and sugar daddies. What? Sugar babies and knocking up escorts, and his partner is fucking doing the same thing. Like it's they're just birds of a feather flock together. There we go. That's the scene that my brain was fighting to think of.
half of them stumbling over their own words and barely keeping up, it's clear this was not a crew you'd recruit if you're after a polished, insightful podcast. But if what you're going for is control, well, then this ragtag lineup is exactly who you look for. It's almost like he handpicked a team to make himself look sharper and more confident in comparison. Like he chose
Nah,
everyone
you
based
can't.
on their willingness.
And also, it's not like Myron went out his way to pick these nigga Walter. He was introduced to them, didn't you say? Donovan introduced them to. Like I said, I'm not biased. I'm in the middle, so I'm looking at it from both sides. Like I'm just a spectator, but I'm gonna give my honest opinions about shit too. But yeah, you just said Myron was introduced to somebody that then introduced that then introduced him to Walter, and that's when they started the podcast. So it's not like he fucking went and looked for these niggas. You feel me? Who's to say that's not the same thing that happened with Chris and the other fat boy?
Willingness to be bullied first and skill and expertise second. He's not leading because he's an expert guiding other talented minds. He's leading because they're so inept they have no choice but to follow. This makes it all too easy to see why Allende said he felt threatened. If we're to believe Allende's telling the truth and was so good at his job, we can also take a look at the personality of Allende, who seems to be a lot more self-assured and confident compared to the three others. Compelling story, I can't lie, because let's be real, it's hard to see any real value here beyond the fact that Myron gets to play the big fish in a small, very shallow pond. And sorry, Myron, I'm not exactly feeling generous enough to give you the benefit of the doubt here. Another issue Allende and Large had with Fresh and Fit was when Fresh and Fit hit 100,000 subscribers. They were set to have a party of some sort. If you guys know FNF and their milestone celebrations, they're all horrible, with no exception. Allende was the one who gave the idea in the first place. They sold tickets for this event at $500 a pop.
Remember, this is a party to celebrate them getting 100,000 subscribers, and they're charging their supporters to come.
Yeah, it definitely should have been fucking
Me
free.
and him,
I agree with that.
we had certain business dealings with
But
him.
that right there shows you that they don't give a fuck about y'all. That they look at their supporters as a fucking payout. Anybody, if I'm celebrating 100,000 subscribers, right? Celebrating you guys for subscribing to me. Niggas, come and have a fleet. Come and grace me with your presence, my peoples. Come out here. Let's turn up. The food's on the house. The drinks on the house. Bring your bitches. I'ma try to get some bitches in the crib, but we just gonna come. We gonna chill. We gonna have a good fucking time, nigga. New York, pull up. You feel me? Just shit like that. But nigga, yeah, pay $500 to come see me, man. Shut the fuck up, nigga. You got 100K. That's it. I mean, that's not it, but come on. Mr. Beast got 33 fucking billion million type of.
Them or what have you, but it was told on their podcast. This was before we found out anything about that we recently found out. It was told on their podcast that we were the reasons called dead weight. We were the reasons as to why their party didn't go well, and they no longer wanted to. They wanted to cut ties with us and fire us, even though we didn't work for them.
This predictably had its issues and people were scammed. FNF blamed all the shortcomings on these two.
And what do we find out? We find out that a group of people that have been to the party who paid hundreds of dollars to be there, at a minimum $100 to $500 to be there, that Myron, first, that they wanted a refund because the party wasn't lit the way. They were promised that there would be a bunch of girls, a certain type of drinks, a certain type of, aesthetic or whatever, and it wasn't.
Which they would have been.
They said on their platform, the Fresh and Fit people said on their platform that it was lit and all this, and they lied to all of you guys. The people that were there have screenshots, they have recordings and all that. The party was a failure. It was a failure, which is
I
why.
had fun though.
Me too, actually. Me too,
I had
actually.
fun.
Where was I going? Oh yeah, so the party was a failure.
So they were there?
And a lot of the people that were there, and yet they tried to blame and pin it on us, to their subscribers. Now, we find out today, this magical little thing that the subscribers say that they contacted Myron, and when they were in contact with Myron, I think it was face to face, what happened. Yeah, face to face the next day, we find out that that when they asked for a refund, that Myron tells them basically, no, they're not getting a refund. And the reason that's why they're not getting a refund is because me and Allende, us two here, were the ones who collected the money, got the money, we basically stole the money.
So essentially, all this stuff was bubbling up in the background, and it all came out during the Abba and Preach beef. He goes on to list and honestly really prophesize and foreshadow a lot of things that ended up taking place. The fact that all the staff followed Myron's lead and became outright douches to the girls. The fact that he doesn't actually care about the men he's helping. He hit the nail on the head, but it was because of this that Allende made the boneheaded decision breaking into the studio to confront him. Funnily enough, there was a conspiracy that Abba and Preach was the mastermind behind the whole break-in, but that was just hearsay. Allende and Abba both said that's not the case. That break-in was the talk of YouTube for a good few weeks, and Abba, Preach, and everyone else was making a killing reacting to it. Keep in
The timing is kind of fucking a crazy ass coincidence. Then that's a crazy ass fucking timing
mind,
coincidence.
all All these allegations were happening either simultaneously or in quick succession, one after another after another. This got so big, they had to respond comprehensively to all of them. They copped a plea deal once again and took a far different tone than they originally had when things were just starting out. It was 5 hours worth of responses. They maintained 20K views the entire 5 hours, which is insane. And they got decent
Damn.
reception to what they said, especially within their niche. Eventually, the allegations they did die down, but the general hate towards Fresh and Fit and different, more general critiques continued and continued until yet another misstep and the downfall was taken. Fresh and Fit went on a copyright abuse rampage. I love how all these guys say they care about free speech, but always end up being the snowflakes they complain about. People didn't already hate them before,
Mm.
they surely did now. In the YouTube world, false copyright strikes are a cardinal sin, rightfully so. You can end up getting someone's channel.
Fucking point and shoot. I'm sorry, off topic. Point and shoot is going through that because I haven't seen him. The nigga that reports on No Jumper, he's going through that shit right now because Flacco hit him with a fucking copyright and his account got suspended. Some fuck shit going on, bro.
And deleted it and
Some
their
bitch shit.
livelihood taken. Now it's
That's some bitch
unlikely,
shit.
especially the bigger the channel, but YouTube has a broken system and people like Fresh and Fit and the fake and the pretend
YouTube
copyright
needs to
strikes
fix
are
that.
a cardinal sin, rightfully so. You can end up getting someone's channel deleted and their livelihood taken. Now it's unlikely, especially the bigger the channel, but YouTube has a broken system and people like Fresh and Fit and the fake and the pretender abuse this. These guys know that the critiques against them are very real and thus very damaging. So instead of addressing them or I don't know, changing their actions, meh, too hard. I'll just try and silence it and then also turn around and complain about big tech and the Jews silencing me. Fresh and Fit was giving out copyright strikes like it's Halloween candy. Channels big or small were getting hit. 20 plus were sent to Abba and Preach alone. But Fresh and Fit did not think too far ahead because YouTube eventually told Fresh and Fit they have 7 days to revoke the copyright strikes or their channel will be deleted. It was a beautiful display of poetic justice in the end. This was so bad that Tim Pool, yes, the guy confirmed to have been paid by Russia, who espouses all the same things Fresh and Fit do, even called them out on their behavior.
And won't leave and does it for 4 months. What are you gonna do?
Well, you can't file a DMCA over it.
Apparently not.
Marlon was comparing people
That's a
like Tim Pool
fact.
critiquing him as someone breaking into his store and hitting him with his own broom. No comment. If you think this is as bad as
Yeah,
it gets,
that
I
was a
understand.
horrible
But really, it
analogy.
gets worse.
Horrible
The next big
analogy.
controversy went viral not just on
I
YouTube,
made a
but
video
Twitter,
on that
specifically
reacting to
Blend,
that. I
one of
think
the scariest places to go viral at ever. And it was because of Myron stated preferences. When asked about a dating app called Blacked, he said this.
Oh, it's funny. I never used that one, bro. But hey, man.
I mean, hey, bro, if you want to date a bunch of Shaniquas, go for it, man.
LaQuisha.
Yeah, like me and Fresh aren't really down with the brown like that.
Man.
We ain't night riders.
Nah,
So
bro, I'm good.
You know, sometimes if they're red bone, but like in general, me and Fresh don't dabble in the dark. If you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
yo, the way they said it, I listen. As a black person, hold on. Let me.
And people lost their mind. And then afterwards, after the backlash, Myron's like, listen, what's wrong with having a preference?
When it comes to dating and your personal preferences,
It's
no
an
one
issue.
bats an eye. When women say I want a man that's 6 feet tall, makes a certain amount of money, blah blah blah, those are considered preferences. But if I say, hey man, I don't date black girls like that. Oh, God.
You hate black women.
His defense was, it's just my preference in relation to preferring a certain
It's
race
not how you
over another.
worded it though,
Definitely
bro.
does raise
Two
eyebrows,
different
but
deliveries.
whether or not it's racist is a little bit more nuanced. Attraction isn't necessarily a choice. It's often shaped by personal preferences, experiences, and even societal influences. All things we don't necessarily control. So if someone tends to find people of a certain skin color more or less attractive, that's one thing. And I do feel like it's common to have that to varying degrees, one way or the other. But when you take it to the level of I don't date black women, period, it's a whole different ballgame. Now you're not just talking about a preference, you're outright excluding an entire group of people based solely on the skin color. It's like looking at two identical resumes, same qualifications, same experience, but you toss one aside strictly because they're black. It's a pretty clear-cut case of racism, no? To be fair, Myron did say he preferred lighter-skinned women, but he also did say he wasn't down with the brown and I don't dabble in the dark, which kind of points me in the direction of it being a rule rather than a preference. Black Twitter did not take kindly to this. Yet another big hit in their reputation in the mainstream. But within their niche and their subscribers, this was par for the course. And most of his fans agree with what he said, so nothing really happened. The next big controversy was much like
All right, so this is what I'm gonna say about that, right? I get where Myra's coming from when you say the Sharquishas, the Letitias, and what that. He's talking about a certain type of black woman, the black bitch. What you talking about? Bitch, I f you up. The ghetto type of black bitches, the sexy red type of black bitches, the Martin Lawrence Shanae type of black bitches. Talking about those type of black bitches. You feel me? So I understand what he's saying. Yes, he could have worded it better and said, I don't it's rare that I date black females because majority of the black females that I run into are not my type, or they don't have the same values as me, or fuck it, you just say they're ghetto, cause I'll say that shit. What, she ghetto as hell on that shit. That shit is a turn off, low key. It's there, and cause once some of them they give off a lot of masculine features, a lot of masculine energy, and that's a turn off. So I get where he's coming from. He has a preference, but the way he said it was a little bit outrageous. Even the way I'm saying, I'm trying to be careful, but still, speak my truth, like my free, be honest. But I'm trying to be careful not to say certain shit, cause you do gotta be careful to some extent on what you say. But I still stand on that. There's is certain black females, like I would date a Candace, a Lauren London, um, a Megan Fox. No, not Megan Fox. Megan Goods. Fucking Alicia Keys. Uh, Holly Berry. I would date all of those black women I just named right there. But I would never date a black woman or any type of woman that has the personalities of a fucking Sexy Red or a fucking Bad Bunny or or Cash Me Outside bitch or a fucking Kim Kardashian or a fucking or any Kardashian. You feel me? Like it's shit like that.
The last. Very damaging for the greater YouTube and Twitter audience, but not so damaging in their own niche, like the ABBA and Preach beef was. This one was levied against them by H3H3, using the info given to them from a girl mine was trying to get with after the show. Basically, she stayed after the show because she forgot her wallet. In the interest of time, the whole situation was blown way out of proportion. The girl just came off as someone who was looking for clout. Her story and her actions completely didn't align. She'd say, I didn't want to see him or stay with him, but then ended up in his house. She was so turned off and disinterested. But when he told her to go get mouthwash, she went and did it and then came back. If I listened to her commentary and not her actions, it would be a completely different thing. It was such a bad allegation that even Abba and Priest themselves called it out and defended Fresh and Fit. Despite this, the girl
Yeah, I remember that shit too. That shit was the dumbest shit I ever heard.
herself even said Myron did not assault her when Ethan tried to goad her into saying it.
This is a very
Yeah.
disturbing story, actually.
Yeah, it's interesting, but at that
I
point,
think
like,
he may have assaulted you. I mean, at this point,
yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that, but like, again, like, it was my
he
experience.
also implicationed you a little bit too. The way they split you guys up, and
Yeah,
I think you got implications. I think you got Dennis systemed. If you know what that
What?
is.
What's this nigga talking
Okay,
about?
sorry.
But Ethan kept going with it. He already doesn't like those guys, which don't get me wrong, neither do I. But that's all the more reason we should talk about what he actually did, like the fact he's so desperate to get with girls from the podcast. But yeah, Myron debunked everything. He eventually dropped text that did not align with what she said.
So she contacted me. So how would I demand to get her number if she was the one that contacted me first? But, right? So she's saying, "Oh, I didn't talk with him. I didn't text him back." Just go play it through real quick, Chris, and we're gonna analyze parts of this conversation later on.
Shout out to Tim Pool, man.
Shout out to our guy Tim Pool. But look, she's not texting me. Look at that. That looks like a conversation to me. Wow. Okay. That looks like a conversation to me.
God damn, we guys buying SS?
Again, I don't like these two.
It was clear she was trying to save face and seem like she wasn't interested when she very obviously was for whatever reason. Even though some people, including Abba and Preach, were on FNF side for this,
It was out the clout.
so we want to believe they did bad even when they might not have. There's still a subset of people, namely H3H3 and their fans, who maintain he did all this. By this point, Fresh and Fit were
Shit is all
people
cap,
getting
bro.
close to it. The name is widely known. In fact, I'd wager that if I spoke to the average person, they'd probably know Fresh and
I
Fit.
feel like that situation, even though like I don't agree with the shit they do, but obviously that's obviously cap, and I feel like the girl should have publicly came out and say, this and that if there was, or it shouldn't apply, because that's damn near shit to accuse some shit like that. And and then you have the people who hate you. That's just easy to push that shit. Look at how big H3 is, but you gonna push that shit. You want somebody to admit that they got it. So that's some fucked up evil shit, bro.
At least heard of them over Abba and Preach. They lost 50,000 subscribers, had gotten that back and then some. Broken into the mainstream many more times with collabs with the Tate Brothers, Brittany Renner, DJ Academics, and other viral videos and kickouts. They were doing what
I
they do best
respect the
and getting
climb up.
rewarded for it. The
Respect
whole
the
time,
shit.
Abba and Preach had actually forgiven Fresh and Fit and stopped uploading on them. Just kidding. They were uploading constantly and getting anywhere from 800,000 views to 1.5 million views per video. Myron, although he ignored it for the most part, was pissed. In his eyes, ABBA was damaging his brand, cultivating a hate base against him, and eating off him all at the same time. This anger and animosity that honestly was probably a calculated and predicted outcome by ABBA finally bubbled over in what I like to call the full-blown self-destruction of the F&F podcast. Up until now, they've at least attempted to course correct on every mistake. The allegations, the false strikes, the lies, the incongruence with their teachings and actions, everything did hurt them, but nothing gave them a fatal blow. But this one right here, this was the beginning of the end, no doubt. Marin invited
Yep.
two people who like to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people to keep it safe on YouTube. Both grifters, both banned off of YouTube, and both extremely racist. I think you're seeing the picture.
Actions like this make me believe that him not liking black women it is a racist thing. It's deeper than what I preference thing. So yeah.
Picture being painted here. They went on a 30-minute racist rant, calling Abba and Preach monkeys, making fun of their looks and anything in between.
What the Yo, every time
And yet he's the darkest one in the fucking this nigga is the darkest one in the fucking room doing is fucking goofy, bro. And this is y'all king, bro. These are the niggas that y'all fuck.
Zerka himself partook in some good old-fashioned neo-dog whistling, saying Preach needs to evolve and he's overdosing on the warrior gene.
Yo, Reach, you're overdosing on the warrior gene, bro.
And other lovely things just like that. It was so bad even Sneeko seemed uncomfy at times.
Yo, Reach, I don't even believe in this theory, but you gotta evolve. You gotta evolve, bro. No. I'm not racist. I'm not racist.
But wait, there's more.
And the blackest nigga is dapping him up, bro. What the fuck is wrong?
Not racist. I'm not racist.
But wait, there's more. But before that, you need some context. These guys didn't just randomly reveal their racist side on a random Monday. No, sir. They were overtly racist often. Dog whistling even more often at every race, but especially black people and Jewish people. Myron, Sneeko, and Zerka look up to this 26-year-old we'll call NF. You see, NF has some less than savory views. I'll just call them some Kanye in 2022 views. His ideas summed up are Semitic people, and by association, black people, and every color of people for that matter, is what's wrong with the country. Full stop. Don't ask too many questions because it's not meant to be a rap.
And then y'all friends with somebody like Nick Fuentes, bro. Nick Fuentes who's saying race mixing is bad. It shouldn't be a thing. You are fucking race mixing. Sort of. So is fucking Sneeko. You ain't so. I mean, maybe even fucking this fucking pug looking dickhead here. I mean, yeah, he's a pug. So y'all not even natural fucking creatures. You definitely a fucking race mixing, you fucking mongrel. Like it's like yo, this shit is crazy to me. Y'all, they support Nick Fuentes. So people who support Fresh and Fit support Nick Fuentes by association, bro. And this is the niggas that y'all attacking me over. Let me not even say attacking, cause that's it's worse. Y'all not attacking shit. But this is the niggas that y'all defending, that y'all defending, right? That y'all coming at me over. Shit is crazy work.
Rational thought, grounded in reality or anything besides a mixture of cope and hatred, and a want to feel like you know something the rest of the world doesn't know. So I know, you might be wondering, wait, a black guy co-branding with the Latino guy to talk about how that black guy is the worst thing on earth? Yeah, don't try to understand it. Marin doesn't even understand it. NF, his whole MO is plausible deniability, right? He can't outright say it, but he'll say every single talking point. He doesn't believe in the number of specific people killed during the you-know-what. Yes, the most documented and recorded event in world history. Yeah, it's wrong. He knows better. He also thinks that people of color are less than, lower IQ, and criminals. He wants an ethno-state, and he thinks the messianic people are at the head of it all, trying to complete their ultimate plan, which is undermine the white race and world domination. Myron hides behind the idea of, I'm racist to everyone, so it's fine. NF specifically says he's just a race realist and he deals in the facts of the world. And he loves everyone and he's a Christian. I guess I missed the passage in the Bible where Jesus said, thou shalt hate all Jews. Thou shalt create an ethno-state. I was more familiar with when a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. And the foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself, but you were foreigners in Egypt. Probably some Jewish psyop. But yeah, there's 3 rules, guys. So now you understand the backstory, you understand who they look up to, and you understand why they're acting like this. Never ask a woman her age, never ask a man his salary, and never ask an NF why, if it's really just about race and what the races do, and not the races themselves, why can we not just kick out every criminal and low IQ person of any race?
I don't know why he's not saying Nick Fuentes. Like, why is he saying NF? Because then there's every time he says NF, I think about the artist NF, like the rapper. So he watch that.
So yeah, now back to where we were in the timeline. It was after this stream that came another stream, and it was somehow worse. They used every slur in the book. All three of them were there, and wearing a hood over his head and spamming the N-word was Myron. I don't even want to play it because I know YouTube will not take too kindly to it. It was that bad. So it was all laughs and insults and giggling and roasting at this point. And this lasted a good 2 months. The title of the video that Abba responded to was an end of Fresh and Fit. It wasn't so much a question, but rather a statement.
And guys, we the channel has been kicked off the YouTube partner program.
You
As you may know,
surprised,
but
dickhead?
saving children, right? That was great, but saving you guys is better.
And shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. They deserve everything. Truly. They made lay in the bed you made, fuck nigga.
Man, this is tough, bro.
They were kicked off the YouTube Partner Program. 98% of their revenue and their most reliable source of income has been destroyed, and along with that, their growth. What incentive does YouTube have to promote your channel and your videos if you're not?
Listen, I would be mad right now if, like, let's say if they got kicked off because of false copyright strikes, right? Like they try to do to ABBA. Let's say they got kicked off for some fuck shit that they had no control of, and it was just some crazy ass mistake that happened. They deserved to get kicked the fuck off. They asked for it. They went to YouTube, laid on YouTube's lap, gave YouTube the belt, oiled up their own ass cheeks, and started spanking themselves until YouTube finally started doing it. Started raking their asses over. YouTube finally said, "You want me to do this? Fine, nigga. Here you go." And they asked for it, bro. They deserve it. Deserve. These niggas were pushing hate rhetorics, bro. You're a black man from Saudi Arabia or some shit like that, wearing a KKK. They deserve it.
Making them money anymore. So everything from their traction to their relevancy began to dry up. And for what? To tap dance and insult black people? To wake up the masses to the evil confederation of secret underground messianic people that everyone has been fooled by besides, of course, Myron and Fresh. Yeah, not worth the loss of 70,000 USD monthly if you ask me. Maybe my priorities are just messed up. Everyone with a functioning brain knows this. Even people like Fresh. You see, at this point, facts are starting to show in the relationship between Myron and Fresh. Up until now, Fresh just did whatever.
And that's the craziest part. Myron went through to bat for this fuck nigga, especially when the hooker shit was going on with the escort shit. Fresh now is gonna turn on Myron. That's fucked up because Fresh would never be where the fuck he is without Myron. So this is gonna be interesting to see how their relationship unfolds.
Myron said, no questions asked. The extent of his deviation from Myron's orders would be when Myron would talk about how tricking is bad and all women in Miami are promiscuous and for the streets. Fresh would, of course, trick on women and wife up those same Miami girls, and to save face, he'd say, me and Myron don't agree on everything. But now, Fresh just lost a big chunk of his revenue. That's all his cars, his rented Lambos, his penthouse, his jewelry. That's literally him. His only substance was that money. Add on the fact that Myron was the one who was mostly obsessed with the conspiracies, and he really was the one to lead the charge into the alt-right. Fresh kind of felt like Myron led them down a path that wasn't good for them, and he was right. While Myron at least acted like he cared about anything more than just money, stating saving children was good, but it's better to be saving you guys. Fresh didn't offer anything past frustration about free speech.
I think at some point there was free speech where it was like, okay, you know what? Say what you gotta say. We won't crucify you. But nowadays, free speech is kind of like, is it even a thing? I mean, not really.
This is a symptom of Myron controlling for controllability, yes man capabilities, and insecurity when hiring people. The people that he hires are just not going to be the best at their job. Fresh clearly didn't get the memo of we're supposed to be sad about the fact that we can't help men, not that we're losing money. Because at this point, that's their whole grip. But yeah, while everyone on the outside is laughing at FNF and dancing on their AdSense grave, their fans are rallying around them, donating through other sources more than ever before, and just trying to support them in every way they possibly can. Me personally, I say good riddance to all that money. They were
Y'all some goofy ass niggas if y'all really spending money out. Yeah, y'all deserve to lose y'all money, bro. If niggas is spending $100 to support Fresh and Fit, y'all some goofy ass fucking niggas.
completely fine with people losing their livelihoods during the DMCA strike era. They were talking to Abba and Preach reckless, saying, we're gonna lap you guys. Like they're completely untouchable.
Guarantee you, next year, this time, we're gonna lap you.
Few moments later.
The channel has been kicked off the YouTube partner program.
So I'm not going to lose sleep over this. But even still, though the downfall had definitely started and is well on its way, they still had the chance and opportunity to course correct. By now, their growth was stunted, no doubt. Most people who could have been a fan had already heard of FNF and are either a fan or never will be. Their style was getting a bit stale, people grew tired of the same questions, leading to angry kickouts, and the competition was starting to innovate in their own right, hosting debates, treating girls like humans, having girls who aren't just the average Miami thought, and more. One big draw was their guest too. Understand, this wasn't the time of old where Fresh and Fit had the mainstream attention they enjoyed. They were a clear and obvious brand risk, and thus, good brands and names stayed far, far away. The Whatever podcast wasn't as bad, so they could actually get some self-respecting people on the show, both women and men guests. It's only so many times you can watch the newest scammer on Money Monday, or watch the same out-of-touch grandpa talk about his book for the 50th time, or watch the same bald guy cosplay as a pimp, businessman, and a gang leader all in one. It got old real fast, and even at that, they still had their core base. Their biggest supporters, if I were to guess, were coming from the men who were fully bought into what they were saying and looked to these guys for life advice, women advice, and just look up to them in general. They watch everything from their Money Mondays to their after hours shows. The next free group just wants to watch the Jerry Springer-esque moments in the after hours episodes. While the first group is very obviously smaller, they were the cash cow, the whales, the ones who were willing to break the most bread for these guys they looked up to. That's exactly who you don't want to piss off. And of course, they did just that. Fresh, who already was the sidekick of the duo, who no one took seriously, got into some heat. I made a full video detailing this, so I will not be touching on this fully. Link to everything's in the description. But basically, Fresh, who was first in a debacle with a girl named Miranda, more info also in that video, got played the hell out of while he coped about her liking him for him. He did not learn his lesson and turned around and did the same thing with the sugar baby from China by the name of Jin Chen. Except this time, he got her pregnant, allegedly. No one really cared about that. It's Fresh. We expect him to be brazenly incongruent.
Second time, not the first, second time. And also another thing, right? If you have a car note, bro, you have a car payment to make, you have to pay, you have a phone bill to pay off, not like the networks, the service fee, but like a actual phone bill. If you have any of those and you're giving money to fucking Fresh and Fit and supporting them, you're a fucking goofy.
Congruent. But Myron, we
Respectfully.
expect at least a step above. But in this scenario, Myron defended Fresh. Fresh just went against every last thing they espoused. Don't take a girl from Miami seriously. He did so. And she was an
Yep.
escort to boot. Don't trick on women. He bought her an expensive bracelet. Paid her rent for some time. And that's only what we know. Don't knock up one of these bimbos. And that's exactly what he did, allegedly. Worse yet, they both weren't taking accountability for it. Fresh and Myron were coping. The flip was quick, decisive, and
For the person who asked me when did they admit all this shit and what actions have they taken that contradicted the shit that they say? Here you go, bro. This is the video.
brutal. The Fresh and Fit Reddit that was slowly getting more and more poison against them fully became an anti-fan haven. Even prior to this, anything pro-Fresh was disliked to hell. But now, it was hate for both Myron and Fresh. When Myron used to enjoy some level of support from them, but now, the core fan base, the guys donating thousands of dollars to call women low value and talk about how high value they are, knowing damn well they'd sell their undying souls for a hug from one of these girls. Well, now they're starting to
Facts.
think, wait, this is a bit inconsistent even for me. And the support slowly dwindled. It all came to a head when they did a response stream to the allegations. With the pent-up rage from Abba and Preach continually making videos at their expense, the humiliation Fresh just put the show through, the ever-dwindling support both monetarily and generally from their fans, and probably a sprinkle of PTSD from the last big controversy that the whole internet was speaking about regarding them, Myron was not happy. It started with Myron calling Abba since he still had his cell phone and asking him to put some gloves on, taking him up on the offer from years ago at this point to box Preach.
Put the gloves on. Back up what you gotta say with your fists.
Conveniently, he
Now that you motherfuckers are irrelevant, you want me to dig you out. Nigga, I offered to put you in the grave. You said, nah, we're gonna do it voluntarily. Don't ask me to dig Chaz back out that shit now, nigga. You stupid.
only wanted to box Abba, who never challenged him to a fight, and not Preach, who did challenge them, and probably would beat the brakes off them. That wasn't all that was addressed in this. You see, Myron is kind of known for being what some call loyal, but I call it stupid. He prefers loyalty into blindly defending people at the expense of everything, no matter what, including but not limited to criminals and people who wouldn't do the same for you, i.e. Fresh. The only thing Fresh is thinking about is money, women, and coconuts in Barbados. No joke, that's all he can store on. And Myron, being as short-sighted as he's been proven to be, loses his mind at the people rightfully calling Fresh out in what you can only call a man-child's meltdown.
You know, it really bothers me when people talk about my friends, bro. Like, y'all don't get it. Like, it really does piss me off. When the Andrew Tate allegations came out, pissed me off. When people talk shit about Fresh, gets me mad. When people talk shit about Sneeko, etc. If you're my friend, you're my friend. I'm with you, regardless of whether it's convenient or not. You put in the chat that say you're Byron, you're loyal to.
No, that's stupidity. If you have a friend that killed somebody and raped their daughter, you, and the world is turning, you turn against them too. Like that's not that that's no longer your friend because they shown you a side that you thought they were incapable of having, and if they shown you that side, then that was a deal breaker on your friendship, like AKA Nick Fuentes. But this nigga Ben showed that you chose to be friends with him, and that says a lot about your character. A lot.
Shut the up. That does not exist in my vocabulary. Loyal to a fault.
Loyalty is a beautiful thing. Honestly, if you ask me, it can be better than love sometimes. ESTG put it best. We know Brutus loved Caesar, we know Judas loved Jesus. So if there's one silver lining, it's the fact that Myron does seem to be a loyal person, evident in the fact that he didn't trash Destiny at any point during his divorce with Melina. That could have been prime content for him, and everyone in his niche was talking about it. All of his fans wanted him to as well, but he just wouldn't do it. It seemed, at least in this case, he stood on his principles. But like I said, it's for the wrong people most of the time. And also, it's at the expense of everything, including his integrity, his morals, and even his dignity. He finally snapped as he recounted everything he's been through and the millions they've lost due to all their actions.
We've been through hell together. We had people come at us. We've had death threats at us. People laugh at every time.
Get ready, guys. Get ready.
People make allegations on us.
Get ready.
Tried to absolutely destroy us. You know who was around me the whole time? These guys. So
Hold on.
Say whatever the you want to say. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna stand by the guys that stand by me. Cause you pieces of shit are there when I'm going through it. You pieces of shit are there when I'm figuring out.
You know what's crazy? He really did all of this for Myron, and now Myron, I mean, Walt, Walter? And now Walter is about to turn on him, bro. That's crazy. I know what it's the smart thing to do. Let's see if Walter is gonna do the smart thing, but he's gonna be fucked up if he did it, cause how much this nigga went to bat for him. That shit's crazy.
What the fuck I'm gonna do?
I'm
Because
loving
we got
this.
Demise. You weren't there when everyone in their mom came at us. You weren't there when I got the false accusation against me. You weren't there when this lied and said that
Get
I
ready.
got her pregnant when I didn't. And then you 3 years later believe some bitch that makes the same allegations again. You I'm not going anywhere. I'm standing right here.
He smashed that cup live.
Yo,
Damn near
poor
opened the
Cup,
eighth
bro.
gate going on this rant, and
Poor
it would almost
Cup.
be touching if he didn't have the background on him that we do. Naturally, this was meme to oblivion. Abba and Preach used this for every subsequent intro in their videos.
Another day, another fresh and fit L.
Again!
At this point, they were a content farm for Abba and Preach and other commentary channels. Worse yet for them was that all the fans were still left with a bad taste in their mouth because the main point of the video was to tell fans to shut up about the whole situation and that Myron holds Fresh accountable behind closed doors. Yeah, maybe, but there's very little evidence of that. People were noticing that. Add in the fact that one of their biggest points that the fans were saying is that Fresh doesn't take accountability. This led to many fans withdrawing their support. After this, Myron had a decision to make. Accept his faults and change the way he runs things, listen to his fans and do right by the people who watch it, people who support him financially, people he's employing and whose livelihood
Yeah, he ain't doing none of that shit, nigga. He don't give a fuck about them.
down his path. Well, as predicted, he lived out Kanye's lyrics in Can't Tell Me Nothing. He felt the pressure under more scrutiny, and what did he do? He acted more stupid.
Tell
He
me
went
nothing.
live with a stream by the name of The End of Fresh and Fit, We Quit. This stream was the worst fan reception yet, topping the last stream somehow, some way. They started off stating how they provided so much content for free while demonetized because they love helping men so much. They spoke about how they're going against the Matrix, the Jews, the feminists, all the rest of that.
We want to go places where other podcasts are scared to go. We want to make content about things that other podcasts are scared to make. And obviously, when you make content on certain things before October 7th, right, you get, you can go ahead and deal with some with some consequences for that, right?
They said all this to butter the fans up for the fact that they're going to be going behind a paywall for their after hours. You know, the only thing anyone comes to their channel to watch. They're doing this through what they call Castle Club, where for the low price of $35 a month, you can gain the value that Fresh and Fit always provides. Needless to say, their fans were not having it. Not only have they turned their back against their core fan base, flip-flop more than a politician during election year, blew up his own podcast for an ideology that hates him, and then placed the bill for the team at the feet of the viewers. If I was a podcast and I did all those things I just listed, my last option for the team, politician during election year, blew up his own podcast for turn their back against provide. For the low price of $35 a month, you can gain the value that Fresh and Fit always provides. Needless to say,
Even the fans know this nigga provides some value, but if y'all niggas really paid $35 to watch this shit. Oh my god.
their fans were not having.
Oh,
Not
this is
only
an
have they turned
amazing
their back
video.
against their
This is
core
an
fan base,
amazing
flip-flop
video.
more than a politician during
Oh,
election
you
year,
earn
blew
my
up his
life.
own podcast
You
for an
earn my
ideology
life.
that hates him, and then placed the bill for the team at the feet of the viewers. If I was a podcast and I did all those things I just listed, my last option would be to do what FNF did, well then I'd have zero option because I would never do that. There's just some things that are just too shameful. But of course, they did it, and the result was horrible. The subreddit completely flipped. 99% of posts that are even about FNF are completely bashing FNF. At the time of this stream, 100% of them were. People were unsubscribing en masse, and no one felt bad for them. Worse yet, instead of saying, look guys, I'm sorry, this is my fault, and I'm coming to you guys in my time of need, don't feel obligated, and I understand the backlash. They insulted their own fans for not wanting to foot the bill that they had no part in accruing.
By the way, if you're a brokey in the chat, I'll call you a brokey just because you don't want to support. That's understandable. What I will say though is, like, when you see the value in the Castle Club, you're like, damn, you know what?
Yeah.
I need to be a part of that.
Your motivation pushed me to start and grow my business. I appreciate you guys. That's what we're talking about, bro. No brokey. Shout out to you, C. Avery. Notice how the guys that make money don't complain about the Castle Club is the important.
The comments were all bad too. It's a mission to find even one favorable comment among the sea of negative ones. Up to this point, not one thing that Marion said he does or believes in has stayed consistent.
I don't need to make a cent off this podcast. I'm fine. My real estate will take care of me, so I can sit here and tell you, there's you. We need you guys to support us on Rumble. If you guys want us to keep making this content, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna say what the I want to say.
We make it look easy, guys, but like, we have people that work for us that legit have a need and depend on us.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for this current platform right
Sorry,
now,
guys, I'm hungry as a fuck. Get me some spaghetti.
He brings up the point that I have employees to take care of, as if we should care. That's your job, buddy, and employees should be upset with you, and you should be coming out
Actually?
of your pocket to pay them. Liquidate one of your houses you were bragging about
Yeah,
earlier. I mean, he wouldn't
I'ma
take
get some
employees saying,
spaghetti.
yeah, he can't come to work because I didn't plan for X, Y, and Z, so I'll be working less hours, and rightfully so. You have a job to do. No one cares why you can't do the job. You're either doing the job or you're not doing the job. Same way, the employees shouldn't accept, well, I cost you guys everything, and I stood to gain nothing, and I did gain nothing. Hope you guys understand. By this point, F&F just didn't care, like fully. They said, forget the facade, forget trying to help men. There's bills to be paid and money to be made. Full grift mode was activated.
If you're a member of Castle Club for the next few days up until Friday when we finish the show, you're going to be able to get in at only $3,500. However, if you don't and you're not a Castle Club member, it's going to be $39.95.
They sold quote-unquote yacht ticket for $4,000 and gave a discounted price for Castle Club members of $3,500. They promised refreshments, a grand beautiful yacht, networking, and lots of women. Even before the yacht party,
I'm gonna wait until the video finishes to eat. Out of respect for my viewers, I got y'all.
says care. Who's going to
I'm
want
trying to be more professional. But don't get used to this shit. Don't get used to me being this professional. I'm telling y'all that now. Sorry. Sorry. Water's on the computer. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess there are ladies, but it's segregated like
Give me
Jim
one
Crow said
second.
between genders. It was an abject disaster, and thus they had to do a second one.
Again!
And of course, it was just as bad. They lowered the price by $500, and the yacht that was supposed to be a huge, vast yacht that you'd have to pay way more to get into normally gets exposed to be a decommissioned state ferry. The same segregation was there in the next yacht party too. I don't know how that could be. I mean, they had multiple high-value men right there. Why would you not be excited to talk to them? It's truly a mystery to me.
Hey, ladies, you guys want to say what's up to the camera? Introduce yourselves. Apparently, you guys are from Czech Republic?
No, definitely.
Networking was not consistent, but there sure was a lot of men dancing.
My bad. Gotta see that part one more.
There in the next yacht party.
Damn. See bitches throwing
The yacht
ass.
that was supposed to be a huge. Again! And of course, it was just as bad. They lowered the price by $500, and the yacht that was supposed to be a huge, vast yacht that you'd have to pay way more to get into normally gets exposed to be a decommissioned state ferry. The same segregation was there in the next yacht party too. I don't know how that could be. I mean, they had multiple high-value men right there. Why would you not be excited to talk to them? It's truly a mystery to me.
Hey, ladies, you guys want to say what's up to the camera? Introduce yourselves. Apparently, you guys are from Czech Republic?
Yo, that nigga look fucking creepy and goofy and thirsty as fuck. Look at him. Look at him, bro. Like, what?
Networking was not consistent, but there sure was a lot of men dancing.
Where the bitches at, bro? Why is no bitches dancing with y'all? Oh, they got their arm around other men's. Okay.
Well worth the 3.5K if you ask me. They went on to do
Fucking
birth control
ridiculous,
streamers,
bro.
they controlled
All of those niggas pay 3.5K. I deserve to get your money took, bro. Fucking clowns.
zero damage. And in fact, Fresh, being as smart as the microphone he's speaking into, decides to say the reason the party was good was that he made a profit. Oh yeah, and he said this directly after Myron tried to say it wasn't about making money.
Aren't even indicative of what happened on the boat, and they're saying it flops. We made a profit, to have fun. We went to the club afterwards,
And the goal wasn't to make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
I told y'all that from the beginning. We made a profit.
By this point, Fresh and Fit were done. The fans don't rock with them. The outside world never rock with them. The only
You
option was to
sure?
pivot, although it can hardly be called that. I saw a tweet that said, male influencers when money runs dry and it's time to pivot. And it's 100% true, especially in this case. The getting canceled to moving to the alt-right or right grift is something that deserves its
I didn't
own
take a
review.
bite. What are y'all
Honestly,
talking
needs
about?
to be studied. Like clockwork, it
Don't
just so
lie to
happens
me.
when someone's mad at the world or loses their platform or loses relevancy in general, they instantly become political and of course in one direction that instantly just so happens to believe the opposite of the current thing. But I'm sure it's all a coincidence. Anyways, this was a natural progression for FNF. I mean, they wanted to do this even before they were canceled. Did I say they? I meant Myron. Because Fresh was not down for this at all. He was seeing a one-to-one correlation between Myron ramping up the racial rhetoric and the decrease the numbers in his bank account, the one and only thing he cares about. The animosity was starting to bubble up in the background. This was seen in Fresh, who was at the beginning a punching bag who everyone made fun of, doing a complete 180 and actually trying to run the show at times and standing up to Myron.
Pointing out who's behind the scenes pulling strings, what does that do? Someone please tell me, what does that do?
I guess it just.
Other than make you a target.
No, 100%.
I get fucked up.
100%.
What does that do for the public?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people probably didn't know that just now, and now they know.
What are they going to do
behind
what
the
are they going to do with it?
the COVID thing?
What are they going to do with it?
Education is important, bro.
To do what?
It's like a freshman. I'm not gonna have this discussion with you, bro.
I'm just saying.
Always like, bro, why you just
There's
gotta name
no
them?
point calling out people.
All right, we'll go back to you two then.
Cannot
So
defeat.
Fresh can feel safe. Let's go. Let's just go back to you.
Oh, Andrew, am I correct or no?
I'm just drinking my.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree that there's no point in calling out people that you can't take down. You're bringing awareness to the crimes that they do. Like none of us are able to take you down, Fresh and Fit. But all of the YouTube channels, like it all started with Abba and Preach calling you guys out, right? Calling the niggas behind the scene out, the true Fresh and Fit out. You know what happened? Y'all got demonetized for hey, y'all showed y'all true colors. How the fuck boys y'all are, and then y'all got demonetized for it. So things can happen from it. You just scared to speak up about it. You just a docile little bitch. Myron wants to speak the truth, so something can't come from it. But Myron don't have the brain power to argue that with you, which is kind of weird to me. So, but hey,
Coffee listening to this combo, bro.
I'm the only one. Common sense here, man.
Making the good point of who cares about all these conspiracy theories, albeit he did say because you can't defeat them, as if every messianic descendant is connected to each other through telepathy, or they're a monolith or something. Basically, he got to the right destination, but he took the wrong road. But it wasn't just him showing signs of animosity, it was Myron too, going as far as creating a whole new show with Sneeko, Elijah, and of course, their superhero, Nick. No Fresh to be seen, and we all know how much Myron likes
crazy.
yes men around him. But what happens if your yes man stops yes manning? Now, you have someone who's completely and utterly incompetent, who doesn't even do what you say. What's the point? It is truly a weird predicament these guys are in. On one hand, the podcast wouldn't be where it is without Myron's drive and his leadership. Fresh had exactly nothing to do with the rise, and in fact, he made it worse. While on the other hand, if he had listened to Fresh at least these points, they wouldn't be panicking and looking for a new shit to jump to. Both parties do have
I
good
don't agree
reasons to
with
be
that.
mad
I
at
think
him.
they would
And
have
by the
still
way,
been there.
Myron has not just dipped his toes into Caucasian supremacy, he took a full dive in. He was in their Twitter spaces, and funnily enough, although he accepted them, they did not accept him. I'm probably
Why
going to
would
opinion on
they?
this topic in general at a later time, so I won't touch on it too much right now. But man,
He's
it's
the
just funny
shit
to
that
see what
they're
everyone
talking shit
believes should
about.
happen in real time. Like, buddy, they can't even get their definition of whiteness right. For some, if you're Italian, you're not white. For some, if you're mixed with anything that's not European, you're not white. You can look like the Aryan ideal itself, and let them find out you have 1% Ashkenazi Jew in your blood. You've been a traitor the whole time. How much more denied are people like you and Candace Owens going to be? Very obviously just useful idiots for the time being, and it's honestly really funny. Please continue to go into these Twitter spaces. We all love it. But Fresh didn't share my sentiment, and neither did one of the back end people, Mo. You see, Mo is the punching bag of all punching bags. Genuinely a nice guy from all accounts, but seems to be really unsure of himself and lacking in confidence. Everyone who takes part in the show has stood up to Myron in some sort of fashion, even if they did it jokingly, with undertones of whatever you say, boss. But up until now, Mo hasn't. It all started when Myron was making jokes about the outright confirmed and
Who's Mo,
uncontested
the fat one?
unbelievable lie that Haitians are eating dogs and cats en masse, sold by the 47th president of America.
There ain't cats and
What?
dogs.
They're eating the cats. They're eating
How
the dogs.
consistent
They're
are you
eating the cats.
when
They're
it
eating
comes
the
to
ducks.
false allegations and misinformation towards countries that has been stolen off of? That's my question. We're on Twitch, so I gotta keep it up. But
stop it. Get some help.
Mo obviously took exception to that because he's from Haiti. All Myron did as a response to this was make jokes at his expense, play sound effects to troll him, and Mo was visibly annoyed. Myron, who has dealt with false allegations, claims that everything in your history book is a misinformation, yet can't just condemn this easy display of both right here? Obviously not. Guys like Myron only have a few set of values. Number one, the opposite of the current thing, conspiracies and pandering to my audience. But this rightfully bothered Mo, especially since he's Haitian. Myron didn't care and in fact went harder on him because, again, to Myron, the ultimate goal is complete submission to Myron. Any signs of dissent, whether justified, which they mostly are, or not, must be stomped out. Whether on live like in Mo's case or behind the scenes like in Allende's case. Inconsistency reached an all-time high at this moment for Mo. Not that it mattered to anyone genuinely watching FNF for advice at this point. They are watching to be pandered to, not for real information. Keep in mind, all the numbers in World War II are fake. All that documentation out the window. All the studies on racism and institutionalized racism. Yeah, it's all propaganda as well. Every singular conceivable conspiracy? Facts. Haitians eating dogs and cats? Facts. That's as true as it gets. Source? I made it up. Can you imagine debating someone if they sourced the Fresh and Fit video? Anyways, back to the point. Fresh also bit back, but he did so much more tactfully than Mo. I'm kind of eating my words here because Fresh is making a lot smarter actions than I thought he would. The reason Mo went wrong was because he was seeming hurt about it. That's like blood in the water to a bully like Myron. Also considering he was half in, half out with his confrontation, Myron ate him alive. Fresh, on the other hand, did it way differently. After either Myron or Fresh got them banned off Twitch, one of the last platforms that isn't Rumble that they can still monetize on, Myron had the audacity to utter a single word about Fresh possibly being the reason for the ban. Yes, the man who lost the podcast most of their money, support, and potential growth is condemning Fresh for getting them a temporary ban on Twitch.
Could have been anything. 100% that's what it was.
You think so?
100% because you said, yeah.
I don't know, man. You said F streamers, these simps, Canadian.
I guarantee you, it's
I don't.
We should find out
because simp isn't a hateful slur. It's,
Let's find out.
I promise you, bro.
Let's find out.
I literally have. Wait, is this is crazy? Is it Fresh that got us banned?
Nah, if okay, if you gotta if you ask me from an outside nigga looking in, out of the two things, if the two scenarios, out of the three words, what could get you banned on Twitch between fuck these simps, fuck these streamers, or or the faggot word? If you say that, I'ma say it's the faggot word. I think the F word is gonna get you there.
Nah, bro. Don't put it on me.
We ain't putting
Fresh was not having it whatsoever. In an act of complete lack of self-awareness, Myron utters the words, take accountability.
Take accountability, bro. Literally, it says.
Hold on. Yes, we got him. Listen, bro. It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Controversial.
Yeah, no, of course.
Controversial. But hey, listen. Type of question in the chat. Hey, man, I kept it real. I kept it non-PC. We're going all the way.
If it was bullying,
we're crashing out.
If it's not bullying, I would have said, all right, it's
Everyone in the back was laughing because it was so rich coming from a guy who has never taken accountability for his actions one time on YouTube.
I don't know what they're
YouTube
laughing
members,
at. It could
fans
be
who don't know
anything.
about
I don't know.
Everyone in between for their downfall. Yet everyone, including the team, realizes it's Myron's own stubbornness and stupidity that leads to it. As you saw, Fresh was saying things like, "At least we aren't PC." To me, that seems to be a not so subtle dog whistle to the team. I'm 100% sure they've had talks without Myron discussing how dumb Myron's lean into politics and the alt-right has been. Like, we had at one time one of the most well-earning podcasts and a genuine money machine, and we lost it for what? To stick it to the wokies? Well done, Myron. How about hit the nail on the head with this?
After you got us banned from the one thing that was making us the most amount of money, you're not gonna put me on this. After you did all that shit on YouTube, and I warned you. And he's right. And people laugh at Fresh. They say he's a dumb one or whatever it is. And in a lot of ways, he just really is useless. But he's not wrong about this. He's not wrong. You're not wrong. In this case,
Yo, everybody says one thing. Everybody agrees that Fresh is useless. But in this one scenario, he's not wrong. Everybody agrees that. It's like unanimous. Yo, it's crazy being known for being fucking useless throughout the whole internet. That's crazy.
And now he's trying to put on Fresh. That's crazy.
Myron was livid. He couldn't attack Fresh like he did with Mo Live because everyone in the comments already agreed. The whole studio had his back, unlike in Mo's case when they weren't fully defending him. So Myron, for once, had to just sit there and have a taste of his own medicine. And he wasn't happy about it as these hypocritical bullies usually are. Fresh continued to say the exact same thing Myron did when he originally lost them all their money.
These platforms, bro. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. We love Rumble, though. That's all we need. Next topic.
But nothing can stop Myron's ego and pride, as well as his ambitions of being one of the good ones. So even after all this backlash and the majority of his fans saying, dude, we do not care about politics, Myron was in the background of all of this, continuing to get
Yeah, that
abused
is
on Twitter
true.
Spaces, was going on more and more racist tirades until even Twitter, yes, the cesspool of the internet, the place where you can openly say slurs, besides cisgender, of course, come on, let's have some decorum. We have to draw a line somewhere. Blatantly and
Wait,
unapologetically
what?
slurs.
You dead ass?
Besides cisgender, of course, come on, let's have some decorum. We have of the internet, the place where you can openly say
Sorry, I'm
slurs,
like
besides
fucking up.
cisgender.
Repeated targeted harassment against any account will cause the harassing account to receive at minimum temporary suspensions. Cis or cisgender are considered slurs on this platform. That's fucking insane.
Of course, come on, let's have some decorum. We have to draw a line somewhere. Blatantly and unapologetically spread misinformation. Putin's bot playground itself and the alleged free speech platform ended up demonetizing him. You know how
Yeah, that
bad you have to be for this to happen? This at first was a
fucking
genuine shock to me, but given the
insane.
pattern of self-destruction that is Myron's legacy, I really have no reason to be shocked. At this point, the downfall had finally reached its end. FNF are clawing and grasping at any relevancy they can.
Yeah, he's right, bro. How much lower can you get from getting demonetized from Twitch? I mean, from Twitter, from X. That's it.
Only somewhat relevant on Rumble,
Fuck,
but
they
those
out.
are the same
It's
old
done.
people no one knew was scrolling through Rumble and seeing FNF talk about Bitcoin and clicking that. Their YouTube is a husk of what it was before, some videos getting as little as 6K views. Prior to this, you'd
Yeah,
expect
it's
videos from
fucking
peeps to get upwards of
crazy.
500K, depending on who's involved. This stream's not including girls, a measly 30K, 42K. Those would be great numbers for a channel like mine. With 1.5 million subs compared to their peak of 400K, 700K, 600K, it's a damn shame, or it would be if this wasn't so predictable. The downfall of Fresh and Fit was not only predictable, but completely unnecessary. They innovated on the YouTube platform, reviving YouTube channels and creating a whole economy around them in their videos. Even now, and this is before the critiques of them, I'm just talking people reacting to their kickouts. They actually had a mainstream relevancy, and their points got other people talking. And even now, with the pop balloons or fine love trend, I'd wager that this idea had its roots from Fresh and Fit and their podcast. They found a winning formula that worked. They cultivated a cult-like following, and they were some of the first to really address issues that men were facing. Although it has since evolved, originally it was a lot more palatable. What I'm trying to say is this: had a good thing going, but of course, all good things must come to an end. And this end was a disgraceful one, not because of Abba and Preach or any false allegations slash true allegations, and definitely not because of the goddamn Matrix. It's because of Myron. Although he was the engine that carried the podcast, he was also the person who derailed it. Think
Because
about it,
of
at every turn, Myron doubled and tripled down on things just to feed his ego and pride. He sacrificed his podcast, his livelihood, his fans, his business, his relationships, and legacy at the altar of his own ego. He allied himself with scam artists like the Saint and the Sinner, Donovan Sharp, Wes Watson, and more. Abba and Preach made upwards of 55 videos on these guys since their initial beef, and they were instrumental in their downfall, no doubt. But it's like striking a match. The fire wouldn't have spread if Fresh and Fit hadn't already doused themselves in gasoline. And Abba and Preach also consistently broke the rule of never correcting your enemy when they're messing up with most of their videos. It literally tell Fresh and Fit what they're doing wrong, why it's wrong, and what it's gonna lead to. Hell, before they got demonetized, Abba and Preach warned them. After every subsequent video, there was a chance to change. After every subsequent incident, there was a chance to introspect. That leads us to the biggest catalyst of the downfall, and that's pride. Myron would rather blow up his entire podcast and be called nigger on Twitter Spaces than admit he's wrong. So what's next for FNF? Well, they'll always have their relevancy in their own little corner of the internet. But anything now they do or any big waves they make will just be their final death throes. It's like a sinking ship. Everyone on the team is starting to realize this now. The red pill as a whole is dying, so it really is no wonder why this is taking place. As for my personal predictions, I think FNF will continue to lean into the alt-right as a pivot, continue to lose support, and Myron will continue to double down. As for the rest of the team, I think they're all going to stay on board for as long as it benefits them, but I expect a lot more public displays of animosity. Myron is no longer the guy who took them to the promised land, so now they're a little more okay with snapping back at the bully. So I think that'll be fun to see at the very least. And of course, Abba and Preach will probably continue to make bank laughing at this downfall. Maybe Abba.
So I disagree. That was a good video. That was a great. Okay, I already liked it. That was a great video. Earned my subscription after that. That was a great fucking video. Listen, I want to wrap this up. I want to say this. I agree to what he's saying, but I don't think it's just purely fucking Myron's fault. Because Walter also played a role in it. You gotta understand that reputation is also a reason why that channel was successful. The stuff that they were saying mattered because well, some guys, I never once believed the shit that they were saying after this nigga said that he slept with 1,000 fucking bitches. Once that happened, I knew this shit was all cap. You feel me? But some guys believed that the shit that they were saying was real. So they had a standard to live to that. But once Walter started to show that that's not the type of lifestyle that he is, the crack started to the crack started to form. Started to show that he cared more about the money than he cared more about the audience. Same with fucking with Walter, with Myron, with both of them motherfuckers, bro. Like, yeah, I know what I'm saying. It's the same with both of them. So with that happening, it's like with that on top of all the outrageous politic and PC shit this nigga Myron is talking about. On top of that, with all the other accusations, it was bound to happen. It wasn't just one of them. It was a collective fucking effort. It was a collective effort. Now, Myron is the one that really built the platform to how it is because he was the one that really did all the talking. So, from that aspect, you could say, yes, he could take more of the blame for it. True. But if it's going to be a split, I feel like it's a 60-40 split, if not 50-50. If not 50-50, it's a 60-40 split. So, even though Fresh fucking their names, bro, I really it confused the shit out of me and I'm smacked. Even though fucking Walter, even though Walter is not saying some crazy things about Jews and shit, Walter was right there doing the whole doing the whole monkey shit with him. He was right. Was he there with the KKK shit? I'm not sure, maybe. But I think in one of the KKK, because he did that shit multiple times. Not once. One was Sneeko, and I think he did another one with all of them. So he was there with all of that shit, bro. And he was co-signing all of that shit. So they both play a role in it, both of them. And for the people that still support Fresh and Fit, bro, like I'm not saying like you can't watch them. Sure, if you want to watch them. But I'm saying if you are actually going out your if you're going out your way to give money to people like this or to defend people like this, bro. Okay, it's your own money. Do what you want to do, but to defend people like this, bro, especially with all the proof and the actions that they've taken, you cannot deny that. You cannot deny that shit. If you're a man that you value integrity and you're about everything that you try to be stand toes, da 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 da, you gotta look at facts and objectively, these are not good people. At least morally standing, morality is a iffy thing too. Is trust me, it's a iffy thing too. But from what they say, they're more of a do as I say, not as I do type of thing, and that's not the type of people that you want to follow. You want to follow somebody that stands on what they believe, not somebody that fucking supports people that wants your race to be deleted or never to have existed in the first place. No. So anybody who still supports them paying $3,500 to a fucking yacht party to send to have a fucking circle jerk with fat ass Mo in them, bro, and fucking Myron or some nigga dropping a low throwing ass. Y'all fucking goofy. Y'all fucking goofy and y'all deserve to lose your money. Same with the Haktua bitch. Anyone that fucking paid money to Haktua coin or fucking dick doing with fucking Logan Paul, y'all some fucking dumbasses and you deserve to lose your money. And I say that because somebody has to tell you it because you're not gonna wise up. It might be hurtful. Fine, you want me to say it in a better way? Listen, fellas, if you're still supporting Fresh and Fit, don't, because it shows that you're supporting falsehoods. You want to be a man of integrity and of character. So you want to look at men that don't live the lifestyle that they say they live and bring them down. Bring down the false prophets. And then you want the people who don't respect you definitely do not deserve your money. People who call you low IQ, people who tell you how to shut the fuck up, people who tell you one thing and do the complete opposite. Those people do not deserve your support. You truly deserve better than that, and you can and you will find better than that. Let it be known. Alright? So don't support them. Grow some balls. If you like their video. I don't care. Watch their shit. But use your money for more important things in life. Because they don't need your money. But that car note, that mortgage, that rent, That needs that money. That credit card bill, that needs that money. Your mom could use if you have $3,500 to give to Fresh and Fit, give it to your mother, and look how grateful she would be. What would that $3,000 do for your mom right now? Think of that. All right, have a good night or good morning. But I'm gonna catch y'all later. God damn, what time is it? Fuck, bro. This shit computer about to die. Yeah, I gotta go, man. Peace. Love y'all.